This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel, and my voice to those who can. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome to the Special Chronicles Show. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream archives of over 750 episodes absolutely for free. And to follow Special Chronicles on social media, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. This week on the Special Chronicles Show, we are presenting you with an educational chat about neurodiversity in the workplace. My name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I am one of United Airlines' original service ambassadors in Chicago. I'm also the social chair on our Bridge Business Resource Group. I'm also a Special Olympics Illinois athlete leader. I have been a Special Olympics athlete for 20 years, competing in swimming and basketball. I'm also a Southern Tribal International Global Messenger, representing our Special Olympics North America region. I'm also an award-winning and veteran podcaster of 15 years, and I am passionate about telling disability stories on my groundbreaking global platform, specialchronicles.com, reaching thousands of people each month. And now I'd like to turn it over to my co-host, Lisa, to introduce herself. Lisa?
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble. I'm a Special Olympics athlete and athlete leader from Illinois. I participate in many sports, including bocce and flag football, which I do with my husband. I am also the vice chair of the United States Athlete Input Council and host my own podcast called Amazing Individuals. Next month, I have the honor of being one of 64 athlete leaders worldwide invited to attend the Global Athlete Congress in Berlin during the Special Olympics World Games.
In this presentation this afternoon, or morning, or evening, depending on whenever you're listening or watching this, one of our goals is to educate you about neurodiversity and how to work alongside our neurodivergent colleagues.
Another goal is to show that individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities can do whatever they want with the right support.
To begin, let's define what neurodiversity is. Neurodiversity describes the idea that people experience and interact with the world around them in many different ways. There is no one right way of thinking, learning, and behaving, and differences are not viewed as deficits.
You may be wondering, who is someone who is neurodivergent? Someone who is neurodivergent is someone like myself, who is sensitive to social differences, has a hard time dealing with change, and is more successful when they have schedules and or smartphones so they can be more organized. So Daniel, what does it mean to be neurodivergent and what does it look like?
To me, neurodivergent means a person like us who has different ways of taking in and communication of information. For example, this may include verbal versus written reports, videos versus lectures, type responses versus in-person meetings, moving one's workplace to a quieter spot and providing natural light. Neurodiversity is a word used to explain the unique ways of people's brains work. While everyone's brain develops similarly, no two brains function just alike. Being neurodivergent means having a brain that works differently from the average or neurotypical person. As we talk about neurodiversity, we want you to be sure you include people with intellectual disabilities as well. And now, as an example of what we do not want, this next story will remind us just how important inclusive is. So, Lisa, can you share with us an example of your non-inclusive story?
Sure, Daniel. So, while working at a large restaurant, during one of our breaks, we tried to find something to do to keep busy. I tried to roll silverware, but was having a hard time because of my coordination skills and my arthritis in my hands. I told my supervisor and asked if there was another task that I could do. Instead of finding another task, he told me to go back and wrap silverware like everyone else.
After listening to Lisa's non-inclusive story, it reminds us just how important being inclusive is. Individuals with intellectual disabilities, like Lisa and myself, are eager to work and want to be successful. This can only happen when they have the right support. We want you to understand that everyone is different.
Not everyone with intellectual disabilities will need the same support. Some may need minimal support, or others may need a lot of support. For example, someone might just need to have their task written out, where someone else may need to have them written out as well as shown to them.
Individuals with ID and autism can be the most successful once we create an environment for learning of all different types of people. This only helps the person with ID or autism. This not only helps the person with ID or autism, but it also helps the company to be more successful and inclusive. We would like you to understand that people with IDD are just like the rest of us.
Just like those without IDD, we want to succeed and feel like part of the team, and that our voices are being heard. When interacting with us, please talk to us and treat us with respect, and like you would anyone else.
You can talk to us like friends. Once you listen to our stories and get to know us, you'll learn just how we're more alike than different. We may need extra support to be successful, but we just want to feel valued at work.
So how do we be an ally for people with intellectual disabilities? So some ways that you can help your coworkers with intellectual disabilities to be successful is by asking them what they could do to be more helpful to make it easier for their coworkers with IDD to be successful at their job. Some examples of ways that could be helpful is making the job successful include giving them their schedule in advance, minimizing changes, using an iPad or tablet so they can be more organized, or allowing them to take small breaks.
Let's talk about some additional easy and effective ways to be an ally for people who are neurodivergent. One way is to have an awareness and willingness to be flexible. You can also help someone by changing and replacing things that may cause sensory challenges. By providing tech support for time management can help someone be successful by encouraging them to be on time for their job. We should also note that being sensitive to social differences will help make you an ally for people with autism. Finally, in providing opportunities to learn and communicate in preferred ways is one of the most effective ways to be an ally for someone who is neurodivergent. And now we would like to introduce you to the unified leadership approach from Special Olympics with the following video. Right here.
Great leaders aren't born. They're made. Thousands of hours of training, pushing beyond limits, ignoring the doubters, learning to win and lose, with dignity, empathy, and courage. Special Olympics athletes have already proved that they have great potential. We simply want to empower them to fully realize it by creating the conditions in which they can thrive, on and off the sports field. The unified leadership approach is about teaching inclusion, drawing on the personal experiences of athletes to create shared experiences for leaders with and without disabilities. It's about taking the lessons learned from every skill mastered, every challenge overcome, and using them. Inspiring others and showing the path to real and meaningful inclusion. It's about recognizing the key skills that athlete leaders exemplify, helping them grow, develop their capacity to lead, and share their talents with everyone. This is what our divided world needs today. This is about changing our society for the better, for all of us. Unified leaders aren't born. They rise up to the challenge when given a chance. They never give up. They will do anything to create the conditions for everyone's success, unlocking the true power of diversity. Let them lead.
And Lisa, over to you.
So the unified leadership, this means it's turning attitudes from unconscious bias.
Oh, wait.
Because you would skip me by playing the video before I was supposed to introduce the video.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. So go ahead, though, Daniel. Go ahead and say your thing. Though. Go ahead.
You can. So we'll back from the unified leadership video. You can go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah. So, unified leadership means turning attitudes from unconscious bias to conscious inclusion. But that change in attitudes must lead to conscious actions, and those actions must bring about meaningful inclusion.
Some of you here today may know someone, either a coworker, family member, or friend with intellectual disabilities, and some of you may not, but unified leadership means a lot more than just these groups being in a workplace together. Unified leadership requires certain kinds of leaders to not just put people in a room together, but take actions to create meaningful inclusion in their teams, organizations, families, and communities, and especially in the workplace. And we'll have a concrete example in a minute about of what meaningful inclusion looks like.
Unified leadership is important because it showcases the strengths and talents of everyone within the company, as well as gives the opportunity for new friendships to be formed. To
contrast the non-inclusive story we heard earlier, let's focus on our gifts and talents with a powerfully good inclusive story. Since I began working at United Airlines 4 years ago, my fellow United employees, have embraced me by looking at my skills and the work I do through Special Chronicles and helping to create the Unified at Work original podcast series. United has embraced me by looking at my skills, such as the Unified at Work series. Within my first year at United, I developed and started producing and hosting this series that talks about our new inclusive employment program at United in partnership with Special Olympics. I had support from United employees, including at the time our managing director of airport operations and United in Chicago, and employees from the social impact and community engagement team at United. In hosting and producing this Unified at Work original podcast series, more of my colleagues at United would see my abilities. And as one managing director from our Denver hub says, Special Chronicles has become famous across the company. For those of you watching the video, you can even scan the QR code that you see on the screen on this slide. This then led me to being asked a couple years ago to join Bridge, which is one of United's disability business resource group that is connecting people of our abilities. I'm taking the tools as an ambassador that I learned through Special Olympics and using the tools and confidence that I developed in Special Olympics now at my job at United to educate and give a voice about inclusion and unified leadership. This good inclusive story shows just how powerful a company and society can be when we look beyond my disability. A society where nothing is impossible for an inclusive workforce, an inclusive community.
So now we would like to challenge you to take what you heard today and put it into action. You will find that everyone in your company will be more productive and successful.
We hope you will connect with your neurodivergent coworkers and look for ways to provide opportunities for them to communicate and be the most successful in their employment journey. Let's move on to a Q&A. We're open to any questions you have for us at this time. And you can, for those of you who listen to the audio podcast, go check out the video on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can post any questions in the chat on the full video episode page on our YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn on Special Chronicles. And Lisa and I will try to look at those comments during the course of the week that this episode airs. So feel free to post any questions in the chat right below where Lisa and I are. Wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And
so thank you so much for having us talk with you today. We hope you have gained a better understanding of neurodiversity, autism, and intellectual disabilities, and the importance of inclusion in the workplace.
And let's stay connected. If you're watching the video episode, you can scan and listen to our podcast. Underneath my image, you can scan the QR code to listen to my podcast, the Special Chronicles Show. And underneath Lisa's image, you can scan that QR code and listen to Lisa's Amazing Individuals show. Thank you for connecting with people of all abilities and making our company, United Airlines, one of the most inclusive places to work and travel. And with that, thank you all for joining us on this educational chat about neurodiversity in the workplace. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcasts, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives, and Wary is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they are literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Support for Special Chronicles comes from United Airlines Bridge Disability Business Resource Group. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with United Airlines and the Bridge BLG. Bridge BLG is committed to being an ally for all employees and customers with disabilities. Bridge helps to create internal awareness to keep accessibility needs in mind and partner with key organizations to empower disability inclusion for employment and travel. Bridge, connecting people of all abilities. Book your travel today on United.com or on the award-winning United app. Learn more on United's commitment to disability inclusion for employment and travel at specialchronicles.com/united. That's specialchronicles.com/united. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting, the easiest, most affordable option to get started in podcasting. At Special Chronicles, we proudly host our weekly podcast with Podbean and highly recommend you use Podbean Podcast Hosting to get started in podcasting today. Sign up for an unlimited hosting plan and get 1 month free now to get started in podcasting today when you visit specialchronicles.com/Podbean. That's specialchronicles.com/Podbean. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard, the easiest way to create professional live streams. StreamYard is a live streaming studio in your browser. Interview guests, share your screen, and much more. Stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Sign up for StreamYard today using our StreamYard referral link when you visit specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising. Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference. Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever,
and coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion. Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
And we hope that you have enjoyed this presentation today. This is Daniel coming to you at the end of this episode. Just to let you know to stay subscribed, stay followed, keep press that follow button on the Special Chronicles show, because we have new episodes that drop every Monday, every week, every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time. And next week, we'll be rebroadcasting an episode with Loretta Claiborne, Special Olympics Chief Inspiration Officer. And we have 2 months of content of the world's largest inclusive sports event happening in Berlin. That's the Special Olympics World Games Berlin 2023. We have 2 months of weekly content, so stay subscribed to this podcast because you do not want to miss some more empowering stories right here on specialchronicles.com. And until then, we'll catch you later and have a great week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes for absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.